There is no day in history that LGBTQ imekuwa celebrated like in our day. So ukistudy everyone, because I sat down with a lady na akaniambia me pasi, one, I grew in an abusive home. Number two, I was raped by my first boyfriend, raped in my second relationship, and I became a lesbian because I wanted to be the man that I never got in my life. So she was trying to fight something subconsciously, and mpaka alikuwa amepeleka dem kwao. So she was not born like that. A door was opened. You don't deal with an open door by accepting a wrong path. You have to handle that door. So anyone that identifies as gay or even lesbian, there is a door open. That's what we need to understand. Sasa kwa maboy, biologically, wakati boy ameanza kuwa sex na boy, body yake inaanza kuwa confused na inaanza kurelease hormones za kidem. Na wakutanga maboy wengi magay waanza kudevelop hips. Body yako inaanza kuwa confused. Juu sasa umeanza kuengage in feminine dimensions. So unakuta inaanza kurelease hormones, unaanza kupata hips, unakuta umeconfuse mwili yako. That's why unaweza angalia boy ujue huu ni kuchu. But then unajua most of the gay men are married. That statistics na the leading county ni Kisumu.
By then nikimkatia mimi nilikuwa Kisumu. Kwa huko kwa tuko Kisumu.
Imefuatwa na Nairobi alafu Mombasa. They're married men. That's when nakwambia ni perversion. Si absence ya sex, ni perversion. And most of them wamejificha kwa marriage. And ikifika ni gayism said ya men, you know men don't open up. Unakuta it becomes a little bit hard. But now we are getting radicals. People are coming out and they are willing. And this is what is happening. There is a lot of money poured. Saizi wanasemanga wanaitango most at risk. Ukisema tu unarichia most at risk, do mwago kwa mlango yako. So even some of these people, niliambia tu mse fulani, unaona hii group ya wasanii hawa wametokea na mmoja wao ashasema ni hii chama ya sisi kwa sisi. Luambia hiyo group ita trend globally kwa sababu kuna mtu ana identify na hiyo chama, and the reason why they will trend is because there is an agenda and they are looking for musicians, media personalities, people that are famous. Sasa hiyo ukiingia chuo za madem na maboy, hii story kwanza girl school ni kama lesbianism is the order of the day. But 50% ya madem saizi wako na maboy high schools wako sexually active. So what do they do with their sexual desires? Na wako chuo. So they begin to invent ways of survival. So madem wanaanza kukatiana. God ako confused. Kawe ni dem before end month utabuy pad. Hata udunge ka boy, hata udunge matimba, udunge nini, unyoe ka boy. End month by the way, utabuy pad. Na ni reminder uko na cycles, uko na womb. When ni womb man. Kawe ni boy, ukienda urine utasimama, hauta squat. We ni boy, daily utakumbukanga mimi ni boy. So are we going to watch a generation go down in ruins, or are we going to arise and have a conversation with the generation? Sasa tumeingia kwa level ati tunaargue, ai, mimi sitaki kuitwa boy.
You're supposed to tell her. Umeniambia imite her. Okay.
Kwa sababu sitaki kwa hiyo gender definition. Hata hizi stories za ma TikTokers juu gender cross dresser ni ufala. Muginiuliza ni ufala. By the way, if we are to celebrate masculinity, kuwa tundume. You don't need to do some gimmicks to look like, things have to sell. Lazima tufike point kawa naume tukubali tuseme, kuwa ndume ndio hii, unavaa heels, unapaka makeup, okay, ni nini? Kawa ni dame, it may look fun, but kuna ka kitu tu behind it kenya kakai right. Yes, and remember, sasa online does not forget. And this is just what happens when people lose the truth. The truth inakuanga guideline ya operation ya life. So we live in an age, by the way, whereby we just have a choice of, we either speak and introduce another conversation, or allow this other conversation to dominate and look like this is the truth. There are two prophecies Jesus alipeana. Alisema, before my second coming, these two things will happen, as it was in the days of Noah. Days of Noah ilikuwa ni the day of technological advancement. Ukistudy hiyo story ya Days of Noah, kulikuwa na kitu inaitwa genetic modification. The sons of God walidoze na the daughters of men kukakuja a species that could not be understood. Right now there is genetic modification. That's the science in the world. Na akasema, as it was in the days of Lot. In the days of Lot, men were sleeping with men. So it was sexual perversion and the spirit of lesbianism, gayism was ruling. Na pia scripture inasema very clear, when they rejected God. So tunakuta there is an atheist society which has rejected God. God permitted them in Romans 1:24. God permitted them to walk in their reprobate mind, perversion. So anything that is against what the scripture teach from a biblical point, pastoral view, it is antichrist. And that's why it's called the antichrist spirit. So anyone that, and one of the leading man, the reason why I don't go to church, because I was judged. But you see, you're advocating for something that is anti-God. So which God are you serving? Because there is God, G-O-D, even the devil is a God, but is it Jesus? If you're a follower of Jesus, then you become the follower. The name disciple is a follower of the teachings and the disciplines of Jesus. The final attack on the image of God is to release the spirit of LGBTQ so that the image of God is affected, and God will always protect his image. That's why when man fell, God only preserved man to protect his image. But when man taints the image of God, God will show a judgment. The agenda is so deep. It's so deep, not just what we are seeing on the surface, because it leads to standardized socialism. Do what thou will, and that standardized socialism itaanza kufanya some of us who claim to be pastors tutaanza kukani kama we are the bad people because we are too loud, we are fighting other people, we are attacking their rights, we are not sensitive to their feelings.
We're absolutely disappointed that the courts have decided to interpret the provisions of the Constitution as not protecting everyone. It's truly a shame to see that this is how the courts have decided. However, we still continue to believe in the rule of law, and we are going to appeal this decision and see this through to the very end.
So now we are moving from rationale to feeling, and by the time you reach there, our voice will be the wrong voice. The voice of truth one day will be the voice that will be fought, because the lie will dominate. The end time battle imeanza, and biblically we will not stop preaching the Bible simply because kuna persecution because of what we are talking about. And anyone mwenye anasuffer, number one, the church is not there to condemn them, but the church is also not there to encourage them. Mimi naweza sema to celebrate our uniqueness as men, as women, and we just celebrate our uniqueness and embrace it and be proud and be happy. Yes.